Welcome back to this tutorial. Thanks for hanging in there. I'm sure you understood the previous tutorials, but if you don't understand, kindly drop your questions on the Slack channel. And today we are going to be talking about array indexing. When we treated list in Python, we discussed about indexing in lists, and we saw how we could slice the values of a list, how we can get the values. And remember I said indexing in Python starts from 0 up to whatever the number of whatever the size is. So here I've created a list, an array with an inbuilt function of NumPy called a range of 1 to 10. So I'm starting at 1 and I'm stopping at 9. Remember, the upper bound is not included, so 10 will not be included in the array. So let me print this array so we can see array. And then let me comment this out so we don't get confused. Let me comment this out. Okay, so if I print this, you see we have 1 to 9. So that is just the range function. Now if you want to get all the values of the array, you can simply put just colon. So if I print this now, it will print the same thing for me. So you see, you have 1 to 9 and 1 to 9. So colon just means everything. So we can check the first value by just printing array at index of 0, and it will give us the first value, that is 1. And that is 1. You see we have 1 here. You can also slice this just like a list, but remember this is for a unidimensional array, that is a vector. It has just one dimension. So if I print the shape of this now, you see that it has just one dimension. You see we have 9 comma, so it has just 9 values, so it is a unidimensional array. So 1 to 5, you see it will start at 1, index of 1. Remember, indexing starts at 0, so this is 0, so this is 1, so it will start at 2, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 will not be included. Remember, upper bound is not included, so it will start at 2 and stop at 6. So 2 to 5 is what will be printed out. So you can also change the values of your array. I can say array 0 to 5 should be equal to 20. And then when you print the array now, you see that I have 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, up to 5. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So remember, upper bound is not included. So all this has been changed. So there is no extra copy. So once you change this, you have changed the original array completely. So if you do not want to alter the values of the array, you can copy it into a different array. If you want to reserve the values of the original array like this, you don't want to change it, you can now say, you can create another variable and say array.copy. So it will copy everything of this array. Then you can now perform all the operations on this new variable. So that way you will be able to reserve all of this for your original array. So array.copy, if you print array 3 now, you'll see we have 20. So we have 20, 20, 20 because we have already changed our values there before we copied. So if we, assuming we copied here, let's just cut this out and then copy. If we copied here, then you'll see that array 3 will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you see, so that is just that about indexing for unidimensional array. Now for multi-dimensional array, let's say multi-dimensional, it will mean that you would have to, the number of dimensions will determine the number of values you would write to access each element of the array. So let's say I'm creating a new array using NP, the range function of 15, and I'm reshaping it to 3 by 5. So that is, so if I'm saying array dot shape, let's just print the array first to see what we have. So you see we have 3 rows and 5 columns. So if we print the shape now, dot shape, you see we have 3 by 5. So you see we have 3 by 5. So it has 2 dimensions, meaning that to access each of the values of the array, we would need to write 2 values. What do I mean by this? If I want to access these 2, if I want to access this value, this value of 2, I would have to indicate, I would have to write the which row and which column. So the same way the indexing starts at 0. So this is the first row, and that will be the index of 0. So I would say 0, comma, that is this, I want the row of 0. I want the row of 0, and then in this row, this is column 1, 0, column 1, column 2. So I want index of 0, of row 0, and then column 2. So if I write this 2 now, I would have 2 printed out. You see I have 2 here. So let's print this so we can make reference to it. So you see we have, so this is first. So the same way, if I want to index 7 as well, this is row 0, this is row 1. So I will simply just change this row to 1, and then index of 2. So you see I have 7. So if I want to index more than one row, then I'll put this in a bracket, in a square bracket. Okay, row 0 and row 1. And then which columns do I want? Let's say I want just the first 2 columns. So I can just say the first 2 columns, I can just say 0 to 2. That would give me 0 and 1. It will not include the index of 2. So if I print this out, let's see what we have. So you see we have row 0 and 1. This is this first row and the second row, and that is what we have here. And the columns, the first 2 columns, so 0 and 1, it will stop at 2. 2 will not be included. And same thing for the 0 and 1. So that's why we have 0, 1, 5, 6. So I hope you understand this indexing now. You can also say array 0 to 3 and 0 to 4. So this will be for the rows and this will be for the columns. So if you print this out, so you see we have 0 to 3. It will stop at 3. So 0, 1, 2, 3 will not be included. We don't even have a row that has index of 3. So it will not be included. So we have the 3 rows, and then 0 to 4. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it will stop at 4. So all of this will be printed out. So that's why we have 0 to 3, 5 to 8 here, and then 10 to 13. So that is just a simple way to index values in your array. So you would only understand this, because it may seem overwhelming now. You would only understand this the more you practice. So you can create arrays that have many dimensions, and you try to access the values and practice and just try to get creative with this. That's the only way to get better. So thank you. See you in the next tutorial.